In 1915, deep in the jungles of South America, the rising conflict between two rival American fruit companies came to a head. When the young entrepreneur Samuel Zemurray faced the massive United Fruit Company, he did not argue with their army of corporate lawyers to prove he was right. He used a devastating flank attack, completely ignoring their logic and letting them walk blindly into a trap of their own arrogance. Society tells you to aggressively prove your critics wrong with facts. They lied to you. The exact millisecond you over-explain yourself to a fool, you willingly surrender your tactical leverage. The elite 1% never defend their decisions. The window to master this psychological asymmetry is closing fast. Shut this video off if you want to keep begging for approval, or stay to learn the Stoic discipline of the flank attack. When you are falsely accused or misunderstood, your biological reflex is to immediately present the facts. You believe that if you just explain your side of the story clearly enough, the other person will finally understand and respect you. You are completely wrong. Zemurray realized that arguing over the rightful ownership of the land was a trap. So instead of fighting in court, he flexibly and defiantly met separately with both of the supposed owners and bought the land from each of them. He paid twice, but the dispute was instantly over. He did not care about being right, he cared about the result. When you try to prove you are right, you are playing by your enemy's rules. You are stepping onto their battlefield and fighting for their validation. Why explaining yourself destroys your leverage. Every time you explain yourself to someone who dislikes you, you are handing them the remote control to your emotions. You are publicly confessing that their opinion holds immense power over your reality. You subconsciously submit to the tyranny of being picked, hoping they will finally validate your existence. This is a massive tactical failure. We spend a lot of time thinking about how things are supposed to be or what the rules say we should do. We tell ourselves that open communication is the ultimate virtue. But pragmatism is not so much realism as flexibility. The Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping once said that he did not care if the cat was black or white, so long as it caught mice. By over-explaining yourself, you are obsessing over the color of the cat. You are trying to force your opponent to acknowledge your moral superiority. But your opponents do not want a logical debate. They want to exhaust your energy. When you provide context, backstory, and emotional justifications to a critic, you are giving them exactly what they want, a solid object to brace against. You give them a wall to climb. You allow them to dissect your words, twist your logic, and drag you into a never-ending cycle of defense. By desperately trying to be understood, you lose your mystery, your authority, and your precious focus. You trade your sovereignty for the cheap relief of feeling right. The strategy of the flank attack in conversations. If bargaining and explaining do not work, how do elite operators neutralize false judgments? They deploy the flank attack. In a study of some 280 military campaigns from ancient to modern history, the brilliant strategist B.H. Liddell Hart came to a stunning conclusion. In only 6 of those campaigns was the decisive victory a result of a direct attack. Only 6. The popular image of George Washington is of a bold general going head-to-head with the British. The truth is that Washington was wily and evasive, waging a war of defense and deliberately avoiding large formations of troops. Never attack where it is obvious, Washington told his men. You must apply this exact concept to your social dynamics. When someone attacks your character, defending yourself is the most obvious, predictable response. It is a direct attack against their ego. Instead, take a step back, then go around the problem. Approach from the line of least expectation. When you stay completely silent and let them believe they are right, you vanish from their crosshairs. You refuse to face them in the one setting they know, head-to-head. You force the other person to extend themselves, to keep talking, and to expose their hidden motives. Silence is your tactical withdrawal, pulling the enemy off balance until they collapse under their own weight. How elite thinkers hide their true moves. There is a terrifying power in being unpredictable. When people think they have you figured out, they drop their guard. Toussaint Louverture, the former Haitian slave turned general, was so fluid and uncontainable that his French enemies remarked he made an opening everywhere. Everything in his life had been an obstacle, and he turned as many of his experiences as he could into tactical openings. He did this by hiding his true intentions behind a veil of absolute unpredictability. When you let a fool think they are right, you create a massive blind spot in their vision. You allow them to become overconfident. The inertia of success makes it much harder for them to truly develop good technique. They coast on their brute force of arguing, assuming you have surrendered because you are not fighting back. In reality, you are simply storing your energy, like water dammed by a man-made obstacle, ready to be deployed exactly when you choose. You do not need everyone to understand your motives. Let them misjudge you. Let them call you arrogant, cold, or defeated. When people are rude or disrespectful, they underestimate us, which is a huge advantage. Behind the behaviors that provoke an immediate negative reaction is opportunity. By hiding your true moves behind their false assumptions, you gain the ultimate strategic high ground. You move in the shadows while they scream in the light. The asymmetry of information in the modern world. Information is the most valuable currency in the modern world. Every time you open your mouth to justify your actions, you are freely transferring your wealth to your enemies. Elite thinkers understand the power of information asymmetry. They know something the opponent does not, and they refuse to give that advantage away just to satisfy their own ego. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus told his students that the first job in life is to divide and distinguish things into 2 categories, what we can control and what we cannot control. Other people's false beliefs about you belong strictly in the second category. Every ounce of energy directed at things we cannot actually influence is totally wasted. When you try to correct someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, you destroy your own asymmetry. You reveal your cards. But when you deploy absolute restraint, you force them to operate on bad data. You let them build their entire strategy on a foundation of sand. You cannot convince people by challenging their longest and most firmly held opinions directly. Instead, you must practice indirect communication. You show them the truth through your untouchable actions and your chilling silence, forcing them to realize on their own that they have miscalculated entirely. The Stoic discipline of enduring false judgments. To execute this strategy, you must develop a terrifying tolerance for being misunderstood. You must build what the Stoics called the inner citadel, a metaphysical fortress inside your mind that no external adversity can ever break down. Late in his reign, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius received shocking news. His most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, had rebelled in Syria and declared himself Caesar. Cassius had spread false rumors to his troops to justify his betrayal. Marcus should have been angry. History would have forgiven him for crushing the man who threatened his life and legacy. Instead, Marcus did nothing. He kept the news secret from his own troops to avoid a panic, and waited to see if Cassius would come to his senses. He did not rage, he did not defend his honor to the public, and he did not take the betrayal personally. Marcus had controlled his perceptions. He endured the false judgment and planned to capture Cassius not to kill him, but to forgive a man who had wronged him. He saw the situation as a chance to show mankind the right way to deal with civil wars. If the most powerful man in the world could endure the ultimate betrayal without frantically defending his ego, you can absolutely endure a false judgment from a coworker, a toxic friend, or an online critic. You must learn the art of acquiescence. Accept their ignorance, bear the discomfort of being misjudged, and trod onward in your task. During World War II, the German Blitzkrieg was designed to exploit the flinch of the enemy, catching them completely unprepared with a rapid, narrow offensive. But General Dwight D. Eisenhower saw the tactical solution that had been in front of them the entire time. The Nazi strategy carried its own destruction within itself. By allowing a forward wedge of the German army through during the Battle of the Bulge, the Allies encircled the enemy from the rear. The invincible thrust of the panzers became suicidal because they rushed headfirst into a net. When a toxic person falsely accuses you or tries to prove you wrong, they are launching a psychological blitzkrieg. They want you to flinch. They want you to build a wall of explanations so they can smash into it. Do not give them that wall. Step aside. Let their aggressive, chaotic energy rush right past you into a dark, empty void. Like the Russians retreating into their interior to let the brutal winter destroy Napoleon's army, you must retreat into your silence. Let them talk. Let them boast. Let them dig a hole so deep they can never climb out of it. You have a choice right now. You can close this video and go back to being a reactive slave. You can spend the rest of your life exhausting yourself in pointless debates, writing paragraphs of text to defend your fragile ego, and surrendering your focus to people who want to see you fail. Or you can deploy the ultimate trap. You can lock the massive gates of your inner citadel. You can decide that from this exact second forward, your reality does not require anyone else's approval. You will let them misjudge you. You will let them underestimate you. You will smile at their false confidence as they walk blindly into the abyss of their own making. Destroy your desperate need to be right, let them think they have one, and the path to absolute, untouchable sovereignty is completely clear. Be brutally honest. Are you exhausting your energy trying to convince people who already decided to hate you, or do you have the discipline to let them remain comfortably wrong?